My wife said I had no ambition, so I let her experience life without my salary. I'm going to tell this story slowly, so you understand how one seemingly harmless sentence ended an 8-year marriage. I'm 34M, a project manager at a tech company. Not rich like the guys flexing online, but stable. Solid income, clear career path, consistent savings. I've always believed stability is a kind of love showing up, providing, planning, protecting. My wife, Lily, 32F, has always been different, creative, free-flowing, a part-time wellness content creator, 10 hours a week, maybe. She had dreams. I had structure. I thought that balance made us good for each other, until that Sunday morning. I remember the moment clearly. Cool weather, coffee brewing, sunlight spilling into the kitchen. Lily sat at the table with her arms crossed, her expression sharp like she was about to deliver a verdict she'd rehearsed. You have no ambition, she said. No build-up, no explanation, just a direct hit. I froze for a second. Honestly, I laughed. I thought she was joking, but her face didn't move, not even a twitch. You heard me, she repeated. You have no ambition. The words dropped like stones into my chest. I asked, calmly, what exactly do you mean? My job, my life, us. She sighed dramatically, like she was tired of repeating herself. Look at my friends, she said. Their husbands are successful. Entrepreneurs, investors, men who chase big dreams. And you do the same routine every day. Work, home, no breakthrough, no spark. Spark, another new word she picked up from those self-help gurus who scream into TikTok while standing next to rented supercars. I asked her, so what do you want? For me to quit my job, gamble our savings, jump into some risky startup? She shook her head. No, I want you to have drive, passion. I want a man I can be proud of. Ah, there it was. She wasn't disappointed in my ambition. She was disappointed that my life wasn't aesthetic enough to brag about. I used to think stability was valuable, that coming home every day, being present, being dependable, that those things mattered. But apparently, to Lily, stability meant boring, ordinary, unimpressive. Then she said the sentence that made something inside me shut off completely. I'm not sure I want to spend my life with someone who will always be like this, vague enough to hurt, sharp enough to cut clean. That afternoon, she left the house to think. She didn't return until midnight. No explanation, no apology, just climbed into bed like nothing happened. The next day, while I was at work, she sent a long text, almost an essay. She said she needed space, didn't want communication for a while, and needed time to decide whether we were still aligned spiritually and financially. Right, spiritually. Sure. Reading that text, I didn't feel heartbreak. I felt clarity. If she believed I lacked ambition, then she should experience life without the stability that unambitious man provided. That night, I sat at my desk, opened my laptop, and logged into every account, the same accounts I'd been quietly paying for years. The mortgage, electricity, water, internet, insurance for both of us, the credit card where she was the authorized user, the car loan under my name that she drove. Every day, every streaming service, every household subscription. I didn't cancel anything. I simply removed her access. Not as revenge, not out of anger, but exactly in the spirit of her message: space, distance, financial separation. If my stability bored her, then she could try living without it. If she wanted a man with drive, then the first drive she needed was the drive to support herself. And the funniest part, she would soon realize ambition is a lot harder to find when there isn't someone else quietly paying for your entire life. And this was only the beginning. It started Wednesday, 3 days after she asked for space. I came home from work and noticed my phone buzzing, non-stop missed calls, messages, all from Lily. First message: my card just got declined. Is something wrong? I stared at the screen. No anger, no gloating, just quiet, a calmness I hadn't felt in years. More messages came. Why is the internet disconnected? I can't log into Netflix. My phone has no data. Ethan, did you change something? Can you fix it? I remembered her exact words. I need space. I don't want communication for a while. So, I respected that. I didn't reply. That night, she didn't come home. Where was she? I didn't know. And shockingly, for the first time in 8 years, I realized something. I had no idea how Lily would survive without me. The next morning, Ethan, I'm at a hotel. My card didn't work. I had to pay cash. I need you to reactivate my accounts. Please respond. Panic was starting to slip into her tone. For 8 years, she never saw the gears turning behind the life. She lived because everything was paid automatically, quietly by me. On Thursday night, around 11 p.m., she finally called. I wasn't planning to answer, but the silence in the apartment felt too heavy. I picked up. Ethan, finally, what is happening? Why am I locked out of everything? Her voice trembled. Not with anger, but fear. I said softly. You asked for space. I'm respecting it. Not this kind of space. She snapped. You know what I meant. I sighed. I don't, Lily. You said I had no ambition. You needed time to reassess our spiritual and financial compatibility. So I let you experience life without depending on me financially. Exactly as you wanted. Silence. The kind of silence where someone understands the consequences. Too late. It wasn't ambition that bothered you, I said. It was that I wasn't the image you wanted to show off. That's not true. Her voice cracked. I wanted to believe her, but everything added up too neatly. After a long pause, she asked, "Can I come home tonight?" That sentence hit me hard, not because I missed her, but because she had finally reached a point where she had to ask for something she always took for granted. I replied, "Not tonight. I'm busy. We can meet tomorrow at the cafe near our place." She inhaled sharply. "Are you punishing me?" "No, I'm giving you the space you asked for." Lily didn't expect that. She never expected that the boring, stable man she thought she could lecture would stand his ground out the next afternoon. She arrived early. No makeup, hair tied messily, dark circles under her eyes. I'd never seen her look defeated, not because she'd never been hurt, but because she'd never had to confront reality. She sat down, gripping her glass. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I said hurtful things. I was insecure. Everyone around me is succeeding and I felt left behind." I asked quietly, "And your solution was to tear down the person who supported you?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I know I messed up, but did you really have to push me this far?" "Lily," I said, "you think ambition means a flashy life. Lamborghinis, big risks, public success." I leaned forward. "But real ambition is building a life someone can rely on. Showing up every day, carrying the weight so the person you love doesn't have to. And I've done that for 8 years." She cried harder. I know, I just lost myself. I listened to the wrong people. I will change." I looked at her for a long time. Then I said, "I'll give you a chance to prove it." She exhaled in relief too soon. "From today," I continued, "you will pay for your own expenses. Your phone, your car, everything you personally use. I'll cover the shared essentials, but I'm not funding your entire life anymore." Her face drained of color. "Ethan, I can't manage that. My income isn't stable." "I know," I said, "which is why you need to understand the value of the stability you dismissed so easily." She lowered her head. No argument, no excuses. When the conversation ended, there was no hug, no reconciliation, no only truth laid bare. Later that night, she texted me, "Ethan, please give me time. I will try. Don't give up on me." I stared at the message for a long time, not because I was uncertain, but because I wondered, do people only learn to appreciate what they had after losing it for too short a time? It all escalated the following week. Monday morning, I was getting ready for work when Lily blocked the bedroom doorway. She looked worse than ever, pale, exhausted, eyes swollen from crying. But the biggest difference was in her expression. Desperation. "Ethan, we need to talk." I sat down. She remained standing, hands trembling. "I can't manage," she whispered. "I tried. I swear I tried. But I don't have enough for my phone bill or the car payment. I can't do this." I asked plainly, "How much did you earn this week?" She swallowed hard. "About $200. Not surprising. She only worked when she felt inspired. Income was always unpredictable. She never noticed because she never had to. Until now." "Ethan," she said, voice trembling. "I'm sorry I said you had no ambition. I was stupid. I was insecure. I didn't realize how much you did. I'm scared. I don't know how to live without you." I looked at her carefully. There was fear, yes, regret, maybe, but deep inside, something else, dependence. So I asked the question that mattered. "Lily, do you want to be with me? Or are you afraid of losing the stability I provided?" Her lips parted. "Both," she whispered, but I already knew which one weighed more. She exhaled shakily. I think I need time at my parents' place." There it was. Not reflection, not rebuilding, just a new safety net. I nodded. "If that's what you want." Her eyes widened. "You're not stopping me. Why should I force someone to stay when they want to leave?" she cried. "Not out of heartbreak, out of losing control." That night, she packed her things. For the first time in years, she folded her own clothes, carried her own bags, tasks she always assumed I'd do. As she rolled her suitcase to the door, I said softly, "Lily, I don't hate you, but you must understand, nobody is obligated to sacrifice their life so you can feel like you're shining." She burst into tears. "I know, and I regret everything." "Regret only matters if it leads to change," I replied. She nodded weakly, got into her mother's car, and left. 3 days later, truth arrived through an unexpected source. Amanda, mutual friend, messaged me, "Ethan, I think you deserve to know. Lily didn't just listen to those self-help coaches. Her new group of friends pressured her. They go out to $100 dinners weekly, and they constantly compare their husbands. They kept telling her she deserved a luxury lifestyle and that you were holding her back." I stared at the screen. My heart didn't break. It simply sank. Quietly, Amanda continued. "They said you weren't ambitious enough." Lily got carried away. I don't think she even realized how far they pushed her. So that was it. Lily didn't want an ambitious man. She wanted to look like she was part of an ambitious circle, a fantasy, one funded by me. A week after she left, Lily called. I considered ignoring it, but answered, "Ethan, I'm sorry again," she said, voice cracking. "Being at my parents' place, I realize how easy I used to have it. I messed up. I really messed up. I asked, are you calling to apologize? Or to ask me to re-enable your accounts? Silence then. Ethan, could you help me just for this month? Please, just this month. I'll figure things out afterward. Lily, I said slowly, you accused me of lacking ambition, but you've never faced your own reality. You want independence until it becomes uncomfortable. Then you want me to catch you again. Her voice broke. Do you not love me anymore? Love doesn't disappear, but respect does. 2 days later, she sent me a PDF from a lawyer, a request for temporary financial support due to hardship. I laughed, not out of amusement, but disbelief. Lily still thought stability was something she could demand. I replied, Lily, you left. You said you needed space to pursue a more ambitious life. Then pursue it. I cannot continue being the safety net you fall back on. No reply. But I knew this was far from over. Every crack in her voice, every request, every apology, all led me to one final question. Was Lily truly remorseful for how she treated me, or was she just terrified of losing the life she never had to build herself? Lily went silent for nearly a week after my last email. No apologies, no arguments, no attempts through another lawyer, just nothing. I wasn't sure if she was reflecting or simply hiding. Then, on a Friday afternoon as I left work, her name flashed on my screen. I shouldn't have answered, but something told me this was the call that would decide everything. I picked up. Ethan. Her voice was barely audible, worn down and shaky. Can you meet me at the cafe? Please, I need to talk, just one last time. I agreed. She arrived early. No makeup, no fancy outfits, just an oversized hoodie and exhaustion written all over her face. It was the first time in years I saw the real Lily. No pretense, no performance. She took a deep breath. Ethan, I need to confess something. I stayed silent. I talked badly about you to my friends, she said. I told them you weren't ambitious, that you held me back. I made you sound like the reason I wasn't successful. She gave a sad laugh. And the truth is, they loved hearing it. It made them feel better about themselves. I asked, when did you realize this? Last week, she whispered. When I told them I was struggling financially, one of them said, just find someone new. The others laughed. Her voice cracked. That's when I realized they weren't friends. They were an audience. And I was performing. I didn't speak. She continued, Ethan, I forgot why I fell in love with you. I forgot how safe and seen I felt with you. I traded that for validation from people who don't care whether I sink or swim. I was wrong. Deeply wrong. Then she said something I never expected to hear. I want to come back. No theatrics. No dramatic breakdown. Just 5 quiet words heavy enough to bend the air around us. I looked her straight in the eyes. Lily, come back for what? She froze. To rebuild, or because you can't handle life without my support? Her tears fell. I don't know. And that was the real problem. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. Lily, we can fix things, but not if you're returning out of fear. Not if you want comfort instead of partnership. I can't be the mattress you fall on every time the world feels uncomfortable. She choked. I understand. Do you? I asked. No answer. After a long silence, I said, we need space. Real space. You need to live alone, pay your own bills, work consistently, build something that's yours, not something you borrow from me. Her eyes widened. You want me to live by myself? Yes, I said, because you said I lacked ambition. But it turns out the ambition you need is the one you find within yourself, not the kind other people tell you to chase. She cried, but she didn't argue. I'm not closing the door, I added, but I'm not opening it right now either. Lily nodded, trembling. I'll change. I'll prove it. I stood. Change isn't something you say. It's something you do. She pressed her hands to her face, shaking. The meeting ended without hugs, without promises, only clarity. 3 months passed. Lily moved into a small studio apartment, paid her own bills. We've worked every day for the first time in years. Slower lifestyle, fewer fake friends, more reality. And me. For the first time in our marriage, I wasn't carrying 2 people's weight, and I realized how heavy it had been. One afternoon she texted, Ethan, I'm growing, for real this time. And for the first time, I feel like I can stand on my own. Thank you for letting me learn. I smiled. Are we back together? Not yet. Will we be someday? Maybe, maybe not. But I know one thing for sure. Sometimes, the only way to save a relationship is to let it break far enough for both people to finally see themselves clearly. Because in the end, it wasn't ambition that Lily needed. It was accountability, responsibility, and the chance, maybe for the first time in her life, to build a life she didn't borrow from someone else. And she finally learned it.